For the part 1 of module 2, final task, task 1.1 is the structure of metadata objects. So it mentions here that the application should allow users to manage several accounts. So in our once enterprise mode, we have here our accounts that we can manage. For example, we have here bank accounts, cash on hand, and Visa debit card. So in creation of accounts, we have this form, code, and description. And then it also mentioned here that we need to add types of expenses. So for our types of expenses in one's enterprise mode, we have here expense types. And as our data examples, we have electric bill, groceries, medicine, water bill, etc. So for our creation of expense types, so of course we have the code and the description. And then it mentions here that the register income and expense transaction. So we need to register our income transaction and also the expense transactions. And it mentions here that the income transaction is to allocate a single amount of money to one specific account. So in one's enterprise mode, we have here our income, which we can create our income transaction. So one single account with amount of transactions. So that is single amount of money to one specific account. And for our expense transaction, it contains many expenditures as needed, but expenditures can be allocated to different accounts. So, meaning uh, we need to have this kind of transactions for our expenses. So, for the creation, so we have here our total and the date and the number, and then we can add as many expenditures for these transactions. So, for examples, we use our Visa debit card with uh, 10,000 for uh, medicine, and then we add another. We use the account for cash on hand. For example, we have 1.5 for our groceries. So let us pause and save. So we have here our total 10,000 and 1.5 is 11.5. So it uh, should be physically written into our expense transaction as mentioned in task 1.2 for the document posting and data integrity. So let us pause and close. So we have physically store 11,500. So let us try to open. So still we have here this transactions. So that is for task 1.2 document posting and data integrity. So we calculate the total and it is physically written into our expense transactions. And then for income expense transaction, it should get posted to accumulation register ledger. So the register should store balances broken down by the account. So in once enterprise mode, we have here the expenses, which is cash on hand, Visa, and bank accounts. For our transaction number two, we have Visa, debit card, and cash on hand. And for our income, we also have cash on hand, bank accounts, Visa debit card, which have value of 5,000, 10,000, and 50,000 respectively. So let us go to our ledger, or we can also use these functions for technician. and then look for our ledger accumulation register ledger. So as we can see, all income and our expenses or expenditures are recorded in our accumulation register. So that is for our part 1 final task of module 2.
Your future, be a